Do you ever feel like you're not living your best life or even like you're falling behind? Well, today we gonna fix that. What up, homie? My name's Dave and I put out new videos every week to help you get the girls you want and become the man you're meant to be. And speaking of that, we're going through some kind of crazy times right now, and a lot of guys aren't sure which route to take when it comes to dating, career, lifestyle, and all that type of stuff. And a lot of times they end up choosing the wrong path and it ends up screwing them over for years. Specifically, there are 3 big things that will potentially ruin your life, and alpha men avoid these things like the plague. Today I'm going to show you what these things are, how to avoid them, and I'm also going to do something special that I've never done before in about like 20 or 30 seconds, so stay tuned and let's get into it.
I've been flipping pages since I could remember. That told me I had to be within the lines of 2 degrees and 9 to 5, and I've been working.
Here's the deal. Most guys live their life by the timeline and script that society just lays out for them. And the fucked up thing is they don't even realize they're doing it. So let's expose that right now. What society tries to tell you is absurd to me. Hit 18, grab a loan, and go to university. By 22, you better know what to do in your life or you're gonna fall behind all these other dudes. So many guys get obsessed by a timeline. I need to get a girlfriend by 25, at least a house and a wife by 29, couple kids in a career or I'll fall behind. Hold up though. You ever stop to think? Who tells you how to live? Who tells you how to think? When you try and fit a script to impress some, then you just live a life that the rest want. And that really ain't no way to exist. Merely surviving and trying to fit in. So fuck the timeline of what they tell you to do. Time to write your own story according to you. You might be like, man, that came out of nowhere. Well, I'm trying to do some different things in my videos to make them more creative and entertaining. So if you like that, then smash the like button. And if this video gets at least 500 likes, I'll do another one. But if you listen to the words of the song, my point is that a lot of guys just blindly follow society's script and they feel like they're always falling behind. And this is especially true when their friends start getting better jobs and girlfriends and all that type of stuff. They'd be like, man, all my friends have girlfriends. I'm so lonely. It's like, man, hold on a minute. First off, most of those relationships are probably just rushed into by other guys who are trying to follow society's timeline, and they're not gonna last. And second of all, who gives a fuck? You don't need to live by anybody's standards except for your own. Otherwise, you're gonna end up rushing into marriages, into buying houses, buying cars, rushing into careers, all this stuff way too quickly, and only because you think you need to do it. But the whole time, you're just crippling yourself. And bro, I can relate, because I was crippling myself till I was about 22 years old. Y'all already know the story about how I got a degree in accounting and I felt like that's kind of what I had to do. But what you gotta realize is you don't need to fit yourself into some box. You can craft your own reality. And I know that it's hard because from the time you're about 5 or 6 years old, you start getting groomed by school, by college, by your parents to basically be a cog in the machine of society. They tell you, sit down, shut up, raise your hand before you speak, don't think outside the box, follow this specific curriculum. There's a lot of built-in conditioning, you might even call it like the matrix of society, that you have to sort of work through in order to see the way life really is played out. Alpha males see this though, and that's why they don't live by the rules society sets out for them. They kind of make their own rules and they say, hey, this is how I want my life to go. I'm going to dictate things and I don't give a fuck what people tell me that I should do. So how do you apply this in your own life though? Well, sit down, ask yourself, how do you want to live? Like, what type of lifestyle do you want to have and what is important for you? Is it girls, money, freedom, travel, a combination of all of those things? Like, what is it that you really want? Then figure out the steps that it's gonna take to get there, and don't just think about them or talk about them. Fucking start doing them, taking action towards them, and making those changes in your life. And fuck what people tell you, bro. My own parents thought I was crazy when I was trying to go on this journey, but I just kind of had laser vision. I was like, I'm gonna make this happen. I don't really care what anybody says. Because at the end of your life, I promise you, you're not gonna say, damn, I'm glad I lived my life the way my parents wanted me to, or the way my friends or my teachers wanted me to. Fuck no. You're gonna say, I'm glad that I lived my life on my own terms, and that's what changed everything.
You got my full attention, thinking while I sit and listen.
Let me quickly tell you how my life would have gone if I just listened to what everybody told me. I would have spent tens of thousands of dollars going to graduate school, probably taking out a bunch of loans in the process, would have gotten a job as an accountant in a cubicle somewhere trying to work my way up the ladder. Probably never would have tried to improve with girls because you just gotta settle for your lot in life. See, alpha men know not to take advice from just anyone, even those people who have your best interests in mind. Because you gotta understand, when it comes to giving advice, most people are the wrong people to give advice to you, even if they're your parents, your teachers, and your friends. Matter of fact, basically anyone who hasn't achieved what you're trying to achieve is the wrong person to take advice from. And a lot of times, they're just going to project their own insecurities onto you. Many people don't want you to take big risks and achieve big things because if you're able to make something happen, then it takes away all of their own excuses. They'll know that it's possible, and the only reason they haven't achieved something big is because of themselves. And that's painful. I can't tell you how many times though I've heard guys say like, bro, my friend said that you can't just approach girls in the street, like it's too creepy. It's like, man, okay, does your friend consistently get laid with high quality women? All right, no? Then don't fucking listen to her. So I got 2 action steps for you here to apply this into your life. First, I want you to always consider who is giving you advice. Specifically, who is speaking, what are their motives, and how successful have they been in their own life. Because chances are, if they have no experience in what you're talking about or they haven't been successful with it, then they probably don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And if so, you should definitely take their advice with a grain of salt. Your second step is to try to make higher quality friends who aren't going to shit on your ambitions. The way you can do this is hit up some networking events, maybe some entrepreneur meetups, even doing things like social sports where you're gonna be surrounded by active people who are passionate about, being healthy. When you're at these places, start up conversations, get some contact info, and then quickly follow up with them after the event and try to actually organize something so that you can continue that relationship and start building it. And then always look for ways to give value, whether it be trying to connect them to other people you know could help them, or even trying to help them with the skill that they've told you they wanted to learn.
All my life I've barely spoken. Your words have been so broken. I've been under your hypnosis. Why did I sip that potion? I'm so done with holy ghosting.
I read a quote the other day that said, if you get offended easily, you'll get manipulated easily. And man, that explains a lot of what's going on in society today. Think about it, man. Like, how often do you see smart, successful men get offended by shit? Like, could you see Joe Rogan being like, I can't believe he said that, like, I am outraged right now? Like, no, he has better shit to do and he knows that it's not worth his time. And I'll be honest, I've had opportunities to get offended lately, both with dudes in the comments trying to come at my throat and dudes making videos trying to tear me down. And I ain't gonna lie, like, sometimes these types of things get to me and I get a little pissed off, but then I remind myself, like, hey, anytime you get haters, you're doing something right, so keep on grinding. And most of these dudes are fucking virgin ass nerds anyway. But yeah, getting offended easily is something I see really often, especially with guys who are just starting out in the dating game. If a girl rejects them, they get offended. If a girl ghosts them after they get her number, they're offended. If the girl says she has a boyfriend, they take offense to it. That shit is not helpful, and if you want to be successful in dating and just a successful and happy man in general, you gotta stop taking shit personally. All that time you spend getting offended is time that you waste. Because honestly, nobody really gives a fuck. That girl doesn't care if you're offended. Your friends don't care if you're offended. Nobody cares except you. So just chill out, bro. Instead, realize that the girl didn't reject you. I mean, she doesn't even know you yet. She talked to you for like 25 seconds. How could she reject you? She's rejecting what you did, and that's something that you can quickly and easily fix. So assess the situation, figure out what you maybe could have done better, and go out and improve those things the next time instead of getting bitter about it. This is something me and Beast used to do all the time when we make approach videos. Like, a lot of times our first few approaches wouldn't go very well, like we'd be a little bit rusty, whatever. Then we'd go back to the drawing board, realize like, all right, we need to talk a little bit slower at the beginning, make better eye contact. Like, we'd figure out a few tweaks that we can make. We'd go out, make those tweaks, and no surprise, the approaches would go a lot better. See, if you can make this a consistent habit in your life, like, doing experiments, tweaking, and trying to get better, you're gonna be a lot more successful in your life in general. Now, bro, if you want some more real talk that's gonna help you to get better with girls, then I recommend checking out this video right here. It's gonna show you 5 excuses that make you worse with women. And these are excuses I hear guys make all the time. So let's keep it going. I'll see you right there, homie.